right, today's day 9. Took yesterday off from the gym because I had just gotten tattooed, and we went to Disneyland Paris, which was awesome. Today we were back at the gym, and I've barely been tattooed for like 36 hours, which is crazy to think about and exciting because I've got goals that I've already kind of talked about this trip on, wanting to work out 90% of every day this year. And so this helps me get right back. Obviously, I'm not running, I'm not gonna go too crazy today, but my habits stay intact. And I really appreciate that freedom to be at Disneyland yesterday without a care, less than 2 days post-tattoo. So, there you go. Thank you, Senator.
The intention of sharing our fears with each other is important because being vulnerable with what we're afraid of and the limiting factors that hold us back in life are much more real when we keep them bottled up inside and keep them hidden away. As you guys know, I'm a very growth and evolution-oriented person, and in order for me to keep moving forward, in order for all of us to keep moving forward, I've come to learn that running towards the things that I'm afraid of has allowed me to push past them and to take things head on. And so fear is one of the biggest limiting beliefs that we hold on to, and so what we're gonna do is write down our deepest fears, our biggest limiting beliefs that we hold within ourselves, and discuss those, share them out loud, and just know that this is a safe place to discuss that and be vulnerable about that, and we're all here to hold space for each other in doing so.
So I wrote down 4, but the first one's kind of like more of an umbrella. I wrote down the words "I can't," and I put "can't" inside of a circle with a line through it. My dad's a musician and teaches professionally, and I remember growing up and he always had these words written on a mirror, on a piece of paper, printed, and something that he reiterated to all of his students, and it's taking out the word "can't" from your vocabulary. It really started to resonate with me, the importance of removing those words. And there's still times today where I feel like I can't do things. If things get too scary or too big or too grandiose, that word creeps back in. My main 3 are, I'm afraid that I won't be able to achieve the ultimate version of myself, whatever form that is. I'm a good dad, am I a great dad? I'm a good husband, am I a great husband? All of those things, it kind of just holds me back from the next piece that I wrote down, which is fear of failing, fear of taking risks. I don't know, I just want to have an impact. But you can't have an impact if you're living comfortably, and if you're living comfortably, you're afraid to take risks. And so I'm a big believer in your habits are what set you up for success. And so I have a big fear of running out of time. Every day I feel like a madman. My brain's very analytical and solves problems quickly, but that's a problem that I'm trying to work through as far as making sure that my oxygen mask is on and I'm taking care of my needs so that I can be the best version of myself, so that I can take more risks, so that I can be, the person that I'm ultimately meant to be. Look, I've won Tatventure once before, and the first time I came out, I didn't know what to expect, and so I was just a sponge and soaked it all up. And in the last 2 years since that has happened, I'm a changed person. I've revolutionized who I am. And so I came out here with those intentions of understanding how this process worked and the impact that Tatventure has. So those are things that I'm focused on. I'm wanting to improve upon, moving not just through today, but moving past Tatventure 6 and where I'm going to be at in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and how does that scale to, my ultimate version and what I'm seeing and what I want to accomplish.
I know without a doubt that I'm very powerful, but there's this fear that maybe I'm not ready for the ultimate power of me yet. So sometimes I play small because of that. Fear of possibly failure or not betraying the true light that's within me. It stems from going so hard when I was a kid, but was so misdirected that I went so hard in the wrong direction. And I found myself lost in a lot of darkness. And I was very fortunate to find that light and to come back. And at any one moment, through the lack of gratitude, as much as you can build, you can easily destroy. And I think sometimes I fear the monster within. So I work hard on my gratitude, and I work hard on being small. I also hold a fear of time and the longevity of my loved ones, because I lost so much time in my early life. Like I have this fear that if I don't reach my highest level and I don't inspire like my family to be healthy, because I want to hopefully help change the lives of the people I love. When I was gone, I was incarcerated. I had no choice to like see any of my family or anything like that. And I remember getting a letter, and my father had had a heart attack. And I was like, dude, what if I don't ever get to like spend time with my father? You know, I don't ever get to tell him how much I love him. And fortunately enough, that has not happened, but it scares me.
So these are kind of recurring fears and limiting beliefs within myself that I've struggled with. The biggest one is I'm afraid of negatively affecting my relationships with my kids because of my obsessive tenacity with my work and the way that I pursue my passions. My kids mean the world to me, you know, and like they don't understand quite yet exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. They're like, why is Dad always gone? Why is Dad always traveling? Where's Dad at? You know, and that's why like when I am with them, I'm so inundated into the moments and like there with them, because I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that time with them. They're only going to be kids once, you know. Yeah, that fucks me up. I do my best to create the balance that I can in my life. You know, I make time for everything in my life, but I put a lot on myself. I'm also afraid of betrayal and abandonment in my relationships, both romantic and friendships. I'm afraid to fully open my heart to people. You know, I'm a very transparent and vulnerable person, but I find myself with my guard up a lot, you know, and I'm afraid to really like let people in to a certain extent because I'm afraid that they'll abandon me or betray me because it's happened before. That's something I'm working on. I also fear complacency, that I'm not doing enough, not being enough, doing good enough art, if I'm not making enough money, if I'm not strong enough, if I'm not nice enough, that I won't be good enough for the people around me. But I know that I am enough for me. I just want to not be so afraid that I'm not enough for the people in my life, you know?
There's a big inspiration to the way, if I have kids, that I will raise my kids, because you showed me that. You showed me like what a good father is, and it's not just to be able to provide, you know, and I see you being a kid with your kids and allowing them to be them, and that is gold, man. And you know, that's something that I really like admire about you with your children.
I appreciate that.
It was a little intimidating doing our fear session. You know, we're all sitting around the circle talking about things that we're trying to overcome and things that are holding us back. And
actually sitting down and writing fears down and being vulnerable with each other, that's probably the best way to overcome any fears.
I'd say any time in life where you're being vulnerable, even with friends, close friends, brothers, it can be a little uncomfortable to get things started. But once we started having the conversation, and you can just feel the love and support from those two in the circle as we're, talking about things that we're trying to overcome, it was more empowering and inspiring to be in that setting and to have experienced that with the group. And it was one of the highlights of the trip for me.